大家好，我是光启社的社长马少阿基，欢迎您透过光启社的网络影音平台收看每个礼拜四的罗马主场 Romereports。这是一个在关注来自罗马梵蒂冈的天主教新闻报道节目，它也被翻译成各国的语言，在全世界各地播出。光启社在每个星期四透过我们的网络影音平台，邀请您跟全世界一起来同步关注来自梵蒂冈以及教宗方济各的最新讯息。首先，我们就来看到教宗方济各，他在日前抵达了非洲的莫桑比克首都马普托，他在一间体育馆来举行宗教交谈聚会。我们知道莫桑比克是一个经历过20年战争的国家，在当时将近有100万人死亡，所以教宗特别在这一次的会谈要求现代的年轻人跟那些与自己思维方式不同的人成为朋友。他也举莫桑比克出身的足球名将尤西比奥为例，他虽然家境贫困，却仍然能够坚持梦想。教宗方济各鼓励年轻人要建立桥梁，接触其他的人，别让认命和焦虑的态度扼杀了梦想跟希望。
Pope Francis arrived in the Popemobile to the Pavilion Maxaquene. It is one of the main sports complexes in the country, and it hosted this interreligious meeting. Amid this cry of hope, Pope Francis was received by thousands of young people from all religions. They wanted to write a new page in history for their country, after almost 2 decades of war and 1 million deaths. It was no coincidence that the first pastoral encounter of the journey was an interreligious meeting. This is because Catholics only account for 28% of the population. In order to begin this encounter, they sang this song.
Somos todos iguais, criaturas de só Senhor, somos todos irmãos.
Que há de mais importante para pastor do que encontrar-se com os seus jovens? Vós sois importantes. Precisais de o saber, precisais de acreditar nisto.
Along with songs and performances, young Christians, Muslims and Hindus all showed their unity with one common goal: to bring peace to a country marked by great political and social differences.
E santidade. Em meio a tantas, mas tantas dificuldades que roubam luz ao nosso futuro, como podem os nossos sonhos, os nossos planos se realizar? Como? E diante de tantos problemas que nos apoquentam a nós, os jovens, ao país e ao mundo.
Pope Francis took the opportunity to remember the 77 goals of soccer player Eusebio da Silva. He was known as the Black Panther since he famously overcame his family's severe economic difficulties to follow his dreams.
Eusebio da Silva, a Pantera Negra.
The Pope used this soccer player as an example in order to encourage them to build bridges, to reach out, and not be consumed by 2 attitudes that kill dreams as well as hope: resignation and anxiety.
Son grandes inimigas de vida, porque normalmente nos impelen por un camino fácil, mas de derrota. E a partagem que pedem para passar é muito cara. A portagem que pedem para passar é muito cara. É muito cara. Paga-se com a própria felicidade e até com a própria vida.
Pope Francis asked young people to be friends with those who think differently and to make solidarity the best weapon for transforming history.
O mundo destrói-se pela inimizade. A inimizade maior é a guerra, porque são incapazes de se sentir a falar, de se sentar a falar, ser capazes de criar amizade social.
The Pope invited them to remain united. He encouraged them not to leave their dreams behind and to deepen solidarity in order to build a new stage of peace in the history of Mozambique. It is a country diverse in its beliefs but united in its culture. As a way of concluding this meeting, a spectacular choreographed dance was performed to say goodbye to Pope Francis.
我们随着教宗的牧访行程，继续来到非洲东部的一个岛国摩里西斯。教宗私下会见了摩里西斯总统跟他的家人，同时也私下会见总理，并且交换了礼物。在相较于周边其他的国家，摩里西斯的经济状况良好，所以教宗也以此鼓励大家不要陷于崇拜经济增长的诱惑。也不要只管投机或只为增长盈利，不惜赔上名声。更重要的是，需要扶贫、保护环境以及珍惜资源。
The Pope met privately with the President of Mauritius and his family. Pope Francis then signed the Book of Honor. The private meeting continued with the Prime Minister of the country, with whom he exchanged these gifts. He then met with the representatives of the civil society and diplomatic corps at the State House in the same hall Pope John Paul II was welcomed in 30 years ago. The president spoke very affectionately to Pope Francis.
Merci pour tout, de tout cœur.
The Prime Minister assured the Pope that Mauritians of all religions were happy with his visit. In his speech, Pope Francis praised the exemplary coexistence between Muslims, Christians, and Hindus. Unlike the other countries in the area, the Republic of Mauritius enjoys a healthy economy. This is why Pope Francis made a certain request to their rulers.
Incoraggiarvi a non cedere alla tentazione di un modello economico idolatrico che ha bisogno di sacrificare vite umane sull'altare della speculazione e della mera redditività, che tiene conto solo del beneficio immediato a scapito della protezione dei più poveri, dell'ambiente e delle sue risorse.
At the end of the meeting, the Pope blessed a few plants that represent the commitment of the country's care to the environment. The Pope left for the airport amid the affection of hundreds of people waiting for him in the streets. Minutes later, the Prime Minister of Mauritius accompanied Pope Francis to his plane. This concluded his 8-hour whirlwind visit to the country and his 4th apostolic trip to the continent of Africa.
我们继续跟随教宗牧访的脚步，来到了非洲最大的岛国马达加斯加。可以看得出来，教宗方济各非常重视跟年轻人的会面跟交谈，而他在聆听了2位青年的证道以后，鼓励大家，天主并非以我们的罪过、错误，甚或我们的极限来召叫我们，相反，天主是以我们的名字来召叫我们。而魔鬼虽然知道我的名字，却不断重提我们所犯的错，以致种种的缺失，让我们感到没有希望。但是只要你能够协同主耶稣，生命总是会有新的视野。
Far from slowing down, Pope Francis ended his first day in Madagascar with those who have the most energy, young people. They received him with these dances at the beginning of the meeting. Then Pope Francis listened to the testimony of 2 young people. The first, Rova, explained that for years he's been a volunteer in a prison with the inmates. The second girl told him she prays every day for her parents to go to church. The Pope referred to Rova's experience to describe that God always looks at people with love and not with judgment.
Lui non ci chiama col nostro peccato, con i nostri errori, i nostri sbagli, i nostri limiti, ma lo fa con il nostro nome. Ognuno di noi è prezioso ai suoi occhi. Il diavolo invece, pur conoscendo i nostri nomi, preferisce chiamarci e richiamarci continuamente con i nostri peccati e i nostri errori. E in questo modo ci fa sentire che qualunque cosa facciamo nulla può cambiare e tutto rimarrà uguale.
The Pope wanted to encourage them. He asked that despite the many difficulties they experience, they not get carried away by bitterness or shallow promises.
Il Signore è il primo a dire no, non è questa la via. Egli è vivo e vuole che anche tu sia vivo, condividendo tutti i tuoi doni e carismi, le tue ricchezze, le tue competenze. Con Gesù ci sono sempre nuovi orizzonti. Vuole trasformarci tutti e fare della nostra vita una missione. Ma ci chiede una cosa. Ci chiede di non avere paura di sporcarci le mani. Di non avere paura di sporcarci le mani.
Following the Pope's words, the party continued. The young people wanted to show him another dance. Finally, filled with excitement they couldn't contain, everyone rushed to greet Pope Francis.
除了跟青年人会面之外，教宗在这次抵达马达加斯加访问时，有将近100万人不畏风寒，在首都安塔纳那利佛的附近过夜。他们为的都是要参与教宗在马达加斯加主持的主日弥撒。为此，教宗他让专车行驶一段很长的时间，尽量能够接触最多的人。而教宗在讲道时，要求全球所有的天主教徒不可以对别人的不幸袖手旁观。
Despite the wind and cold, 1 million people spent the night on this field near Antananarivo to participate in Sunday Mass with the Pope in Madagascar. That's why the Pope spent a lot of time traveling in the Pope-mobile in order to be close to the greatest number of people. Music also played a fundamental role in the ceremony. In his homily, Pope Francis asked all Catholics in the world not to be indifferent to others' misfortunes.
Davanti alla dignità umana calpestata spesso si rimane a braccia conserte oppure si aprono le braccia impotenti di fronte all'oscura forza del male. Ma il cristiano non può stare a braccia conserte, indifferente o a braccia aperte fatalista. No. Il credente tende la mano come fa Gesù con lui.
The Pope especially asked not to deceive others or fall into corruption, even when trying to help one's family. Madagascar demonstrated they pray with music and dances. Therefore, after communion, they lifted up prayer through this enormous choreographed dance. After giving the final blessing, the Pope once again greeted the President of the Republic, who, although not a Catholic, attended Mass with his wife.
在历任的教宗当中，曾经有多位的教宗抵达非洲访问，他们为年轻的非洲教会培植信仰，播种希望。教宗保禄六世，他是第一位牧访非洲的教宗，当时是1969年，他抵达了乌干达访问，他留下了难忘的讯息。他说，许多传教士到非洲传教，而现在非洲民众应该肩负起基督见证人的角色。我们也看到教宗方济各在2017年以及2019年分别访问了埃及跟摩洛哥，他延续了先贤的工作，希望改善天主教与伊斯兰教的关系。
Throughout Africa, popes have cultivated the faith of a young church and also managed to plant hope. Paul VI was the first modern pontiff who visited the continent. It was in 1969 when he traveled to Uganda. That's why it's impossible to forget the message he left. He said it was time for Africans themselves to take up the role of Christian witnesses after various missionaries had evangelized the continent. The imprint John Paul II left years later was also indelible. He visited Africa 16 times. One of his most memorable meetings is this one with Nelson Mandela in 1995. He also had various encounters with the sick. Africa literally shook with joy at seeing such a pontiff. Benedict XVI confidently spoke in his 2 visits to the continent. He denounced what Pope Francis later titled the ideological colonization in Africa. Above all, the current Pope Emeritus sent a message of encouragement.
Hoping against hope, is this not a magnificent description of a Christian? Africa is called to hope through you and in you.
Pope Francis's trip in September will mark the 4th of his pontificate to this continent. In 2015, he visited Uganda, Kenya, and the Central African Republic. The trip to the latter country was discouraged for security reasons. However, Pope Francis insisted. His passage through a refugee camp was an especially memorable moment.
Noi dobbiamo lavorare e pregare e fare del tutto per la pace. Ma la pace senza amore, senza amicizia, senza tolleranza, senza perdono. Non è possibile.
In the Central African Republic, the Pope made a unique gesture. He inaugurated the Jubilee of Mercy that would later ignite throughout the Church. He wanted it to begin from one of the countries suffering most by war. Pope Francis visited Egypt in 2017, and in 2019 he went to Morocco. There were 2 trips where he continued the work of his predecessors to improve relations with Islam.
教宗在这一次到马达加斯加牧访时，也特别到了首都安塔那那列佛的赤足加尔默罗隐修会，与修女们一起祈祷。当教宗踏进隐修院的圣堂时，尽管现场的气氛很庄严，但是所有的隐修女都不禁欢呼起来。教宗谈到圣德兰里修他所做的特别奉献。这位加尔默罗隐修会的修女，她在修院的生活并不轻松。教宗的发言主要是围绕在团体的生活，他也呼吁修女以爱德相待，并听命长上，即使感到困难，也要坚持。
The Pope arrived at the monastery of Discalced Carmelites in Antananarivo to pray with the nuns. The solemnity of the event did not prevent the nuns from showing their joy when Pope Francis entered the church. After praying, Pope Francis gave a paperless speech to more than 100 contemplative nuns. He spoke of Saint Teresa de Lisieux, a Carmelite who he feels a devotion for, whose life in the convent was not easy. The Pope focused his speech on life in the community. He asked the nuns to live with charity among themselves and obedience to their superior, even if it was difficult.
Sempre la trasparenza del cuore. Sempre parlando si vince. E questa Teresa che sapeva che la priora, lei alla priora lì era antipatica, andava dalla priora. È vero, bisogna riconoscere che non tutte le priore sono il premio Nobel della simpatia. Sono Gesù.
He also warned them of the dangers of worldliness entering the convent.
Sappiate discernere con la priora, con la comunità in capitolo, discernere le voci della mondanità che non entrano in clausura. La mondanità non è una suora di clausura. Quando ti vengano pensieri di mondanità, chiudi la porta e pensa ai piccoli atti di amore. Questi salvano il mondo.
The Pope asked them to speak up when something or someone makes life in the community difficult.
Per favore, cara sorella, quando tu senti qualcosa strana, parla subito. Parla subito. Questo consiglio vi do. Parlate subito, parlate in tempo. Quando c'è qualche cosa che vi toglie la tranquillità.
The Pope encouraged them to help one another because this is how they defend holiness and love within the community.
同样也是在马达加斯加的牧访，教宗抵达主教座堂举行感恩祭。他首先与司铎、修生还有修女会面，会面是以祈祷开始，这也是莫桑比克的风格。接着司铎、修女还有传道员诉说他们在这里传教所面对的挑战。教宗感谢他们把生命奉献给天主，又邀请他们更新圣召，重申我愿意，确保劳累的工作是为了做在天主眼中能够结出美果的事，让他的圣子耶稣临现。
The Archbishop of Maputo was waiting at the door of the cathedral for the Pope, who arrived 15 minutes early for his meeting with priests, seminarians, and nuns. First, he greeted the oldest among the participants. Then he stopped for a few minutes to pray silently before the Eucharist. The meeting began with a prayer. The style was common to Mozambique, and the Pope seemed to like it. Then a local priest, a nun, and a catechist told him about the challenges they're currently facing in the country.
Sim, Santo Padre. Há demasiada preocupação com o nosso bem-estar pessoal, sobretudo no que diz respeito aos recursos financeiros para a nossa subsistência. Leva-nos, não raras vezes, a enveredar por caminhos tortuosos que, em vez de facilitarem o nosso ministério, o tornam cada vez mais difícil, chegando a provocar inúmeras defecções entre nós.
Como podemos fazer para viver a nossa consagração religiosa com mais fidelidade e perseverança numa sociedade demasiado materialista e alienadora?
Constatar que os casamentos de mista religião, particularmente entre católicos e muçulmanos, que antes eram completamente inquestionáveis, hoje enfrentam muitas dificuldades por causa de um certo extremismo religioso que obriga sempre a parte católica a converter-se a outra religião.
The Pope, in an intense speech, thanked them for having given their lives to God and invited them to renew their vocational yes.
Renovar a chamada passa, muitas vezes, por verificar se os nossos cansaços e preocupações têm a ver com certo mundanismo espiritual. A nossa chamada passa por optar, dizer sim e cansar-nos com aquilo que é fecundo aos olhos de Deus, que torna presente, encarna o seu Filho Jesus.
Pope Francis recalled pastoral life and carrying the worries of others is tiring, yet it's worth it in the long run, and it shows the beauty of a life dedicated to God. Before leaving, the Pope prayed for vocations and for the faithfulness of priests, seminarians, and religious men and women. Then he crossed the cathedral to get closer to the contagious enthusiasm of the attendees. A Pope-mobile and a multitude of pilgrims were waiting outside the door, ready to greet him and see him up close.
刚刚我们看到了教宗鼓励所有的牧灵工作者要更新圣召，做出在天主眼中可以结出美果的事。最后，我们带您来看到底圣召要怎样来分辨呢？有一位加尔默罗修会的会士西卡尼神父，他在这则新闻里面就提供了几个辨识圣召的秘诀，而到底哪一个才是天主的声音呢？我们来听听西卡尼神父他怎么说。
Carmelite Antonio Maria Sicari is one of the most widely read authors of spirituality in Italy. He's written more than 100 saint biographies. He says all Christians are called to be saints, and God has prepared a way for each person to achieve this goal, their vocation. The key to recognizing it is listening to what God is asking deep inside the heart and deciding how to respond.
Io non posso
I cannot hear a voice, nor do I believe I am listening to a voice if I'm living in the midst of great confusion, constantly messaging, with other voices speaking to me. I can't know which one is true, which is false, or which one is stupid. It is key to get away from the noise of useless voices and meaningless proposals.
He says the second key is to surround oneself with people who help cultivate big dreams, instead of those who block this type of action.
Chi sono le persone con le quali vivo?
With whom do I spend my life? Who are my friends? Are they people who somehow transmit the voice of God? Are they people who help me? Or do I choose to be with people who, if God asks me for something, will tell me, no, that is absurd, do not listen to that. Sometimes vocations are lost because they are made fun of, or they are discouraged from being lived out. Often it's by people who should take them seriously.
The third tip is to strive for the type of life one is hoping to attract. This will help verify if it's truly one's call. Once striving for that, make a decision.
La vocazione si forgia sempre
A vocation is always formed in the right company and fidelity. Other advice is to have help, like a spiritual guide. Above all, don't jump between different vocations, whether people, situations, or environments. Finally, start as soon as possible to verify the vocation.
In the stories of the saints he's written, there's always a generous response to God's proposal. Yet there are also moments of crisis and doubt. Therefore, the key is to always return to the memory of those moments in which the life-changing call took place.
看完了今天的罗马主场 Romereports， 不论是教宗方济各的牧访，还是隐修院修女们的奉献，还有刚刚西卡尼神父提示如何辨别圣召，在您的心里面、耳朵里，是否也听到了天主在召叫您的名字呢？我是光启社的社长马绍阿基，欢迎您在下个礼拜四继续透过光启社的 YouTube 网络影音平台收看来自梵蒂冈以及教宗方济各的最新讯息。当然，在光启社的 YouTube 影音平台，我们还有更多为您精心制作的影音福传节目，欢迎大家点选收看，也记得推播分享给更多人一起来观看光启社的福传节目。看完了，记得要按个赞。我是马绍阿基，我们下个礼拜四再见，祝福大家平安喜乐。